Good Friday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversation Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. Well, we made it to the end of another week. Of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this Friday. Have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's news you can use. Yesterday, I spoke with Sharon Graham. She's the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Regional Administrator for my area. We talked about Healthcare Open Enrollment and what you need to know. The deadline is coming up. It's December 15th. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Friday headlines. In national news, President Biden forgives $5 billion more in student loans for over 80,000 borrowers. Here's what you should know, says the USA Today. The Education Department has forgiven another $4.8 billion in student loans for roughly 80,000 borrowers. It's the latest tranche of relief to come for Americans who already qualify for debt cancellation through programs such as income-driven repayment and public service loan forgiveness. About half of the forgiveness, $2.2 billion for about 46,000 borrowers, announced on Wednesday, came from what the administration calls fixes to the federal income-driven repayment process, which the department says historically hasn't counted progress toward forgiveness accurately, leaving borrowers who have been paying down their loans for more than 2 decades unfairly on the hook. The rest, about $2.6 billion for more than 34,000 borrowers, was for PSLF participants, people working as teachers, public defenders, and other public sector jobs who've also had their repayment timelines reassessed in recent months. The Biden administration first announced in July that it would be adjusting borrowers' accounts to make them more accurate, providing almost 1 million borrowers with immediate relief. A Government Accountability Office report last year found that the Education Department needed to do a better job of tracking borrowers' payments. More than 3.6 million borrowers in total qualified to get at least 3 more years of payments counted toward their loan forgiveness. The department plans on notifying those eligible borrowers every other month into next year, according to its website. This debt relief is life-changing, Education Secretary Miguel Cardona said during a call with reporters on Wednesday. We know there are so many more student loan borrowers who have been failed by the system and still need help, he said. In more national news, gunmen who killed 3 at UNLV did not appear to be targeting students, the Associated Press sources say. A gunman who killed 3 people and critically wounded a 4th at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, before dying in a shootout with police, did not appear to be targeting students, according to 2 law enforcement officials with direct knowledge of the investigation. Terrified students and professors cowered in classrooms and dorms as a gunman roamed UNLV's Lee Business School Wednesday and opened fire just before noon on the 4th floor, where faculty and staff offices for the accounting and marketing departments are located. One of the officials said the gunman was a longtime business professor who had unsuccessfully sought a job at UNLV. The other law enforcement official identified the suspect as a 67-year-old who Conversations Daily News is not naming. Both officials spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity because they weren't authorized to release the information publicly at this time. Investigators searched an apartment in Henderson, Nevada late on Wednesday as part of the investigation and retrieved several electronic devices, including the suspect's cell phone, one of the officials said. The killer was a professor in North Carolina at East Carolina University's Department of Marketing and Supply Chain Management from 2001 to 2017, according to a statement released Thursday by the school. He resigned in January 2017 as a tenured associate professor. In more national news, Trump appeals ruling rejecting immunity claim as window narrows to derail federal election case. Former President Donald Trump is appealing a ruling that found he is not immune from criminal prosecution as he runs out of opportunities to delay or even derail an upcoming trial on charges that he plotted to overturn the result of the 2020 election. Lawyers for the 2024 Republican presidential primary frontrunner filed a notice of appeal Thursday indicating that they will challenge U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan's decision rejecting Trump's bid to dismiss the case headed to trial in Washington, D.C. in March. In entertainment news, Streisand talks acting, music, and destiny at the release of her memoir, My Name is Barbra. Before she's ready to talk about her memoir, Barbra Streisand needs to pull herself away from current events. I'm watching expel Representative George Santos and worrying about the world and democracy, she says at the start of a telephone interview when asked how she's doing, says the Associated Press. I have to say, she adds a moment later, I guess I'm okay. There are reasons My Name is Barbra took as long to wrap up, even as her most challenging film projects did. For decades, she rarely had the kind of solitary time needed to settle down and write, she says, and even with her film and concert career essentially over, I don't enjoy performing anymore, she says. The longtime political activist remains absorbed in the news, no matter how distressing, from next year's U.S. presidential election to the war in the Middle East. And finally, in business news, filings for jobless claims tick up modestly, continuing claims fall. U.S. applications for jobless benefits ticked up last week, but the overall number of people in the U.S. collecting unemployment benefits fell after hitting its highest level in 2 years last week. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's now time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Friday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. You never know what you can do until you try, so why not make today the day you start trying? The future is still yours to write, so get started writing it. Have an amazing Friday and enjoy your weekend. Sharon Graham is featured in today's news you can use right here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your news you can use. Sharon Graham, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Regional Administrator, joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to discuss this year's open enrollment for healthcare and what you need to know. Here's a bit of our conversation.
Sharon, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Cyrus.
Well, this is an important topic for our audience out there, as I mentioned, for those who may not have health care coverage, Sharon, but also for those who maybe want to see if there's a better option for them. So what's new this year that our audience should know about?
Well, what's new this year, Cyrus, is that we've expanded the financial help that's available for people. So we're encouraging everybody to go to our website now during the Healthcare.gov Open Enrollment period and review the health plans that are available to see if they qualify for that expanded financial help. And to do that by December 15th, to review the plans that are there at healthcare.gov and to make a selection or to even update your existing plan, and then your coverage will be effective on January 1st.
Right. It's a great reminder for them. Now, there are some individuals who may have seen some changes, Sharon, recently. What about people who have recently lost either Medicaid or CHIP?
Yeah, we understand that Medicaid and CHIP insurance are really lifelines for people. So for people with Medicaid and CHIP, please do watch your mailbox. And when you get that letter and that application from the state, fill it out and return it as soon as possible to see if your Medicaid and your CHIP coverage continue. But if you're no longer eligible for Medicaid or CHIP, please do go to our website at healthcare.gov to see if you're eligible to enroll in our low-cost quality health plans that are there. And again, with the expanded help, we're finding that 4 out of 5 people can find a plan for $10 or less a month.
That's a great deal for sure, and again, for something that is so important like health insurance. So, Sharon, if our audience may have already bought health care coverage before through healthcare.gov, maybe even last year, why should they then check again this year before the deadline?
Yeah, you're right, Cyrus. This is an important time to review your health care coverage. So we always encourage people to review the health care coverage you currently have because your situation can change throughout the year, and also the new plan that's available in 2024 to you may also change.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning in to this edition of Conversations Daily News. But we got on Mondays more news, message from my book Words I Choose to Live By, and of course your entertainment spotlight. Until then, I'm your host Cyrus Webb saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Let us go make today amazing. Take care.